Virgo. Thanks for joining me for your November 2017 forecast. I am shuffling the Ludi Lescaut Tarot. Here's what the front looks like. Got this in New Orleans several years ago. So I wanted to tell you about a little special, the spooky special that I'm running, and I'm excited about this. I've never done something like this, but I want to see how it goes. So if you place an order with me for a 60-minute or a 90-minute reading in the month of October through the full moon of the 4th, you will receive a free 10-minute reading with me that can either be applied to the end of that reading for a longer session, or you can use that 10-minute freebie at any time for the remaining portion of 2017. It's my little treat back to the YouTube viewers, and it's also just a gauge for me to see where I'm at on the YouTube site, see who's paying attention out there. Okay, so let's get to it. There's a lot going on, as usual. We start our month on the 4th with a super full moon. So she's at her perigee, and she's closest to the earth at that point. So it's a super full moon at 11 degrees of Taurus in the 9th house. And there's some closure to some courses of study or higher education for Virgo and Virgo rising. Please watch your rising and your moon sign for these scopes for a full cosmic catch-up. There's closure for long-distance travel, returning from trips in the 9th house. Also putting an end to a certain type of belief system or philosophy, religious belief. Some closing the door on theology together is present when the full moon is in the 9th, taking a different approach to your beliefs, like I said. It applies very differently. These are general readings. So there's an awareness in this sector, and some of you are just returning from travel at that time, but something should be seen around this full moon in this sector, and it could be even that you think you need more education, or there's something that you want to develop spiritually, metaphysically. The 9th house of all things Reiki and Tarot, spiritual healing agents, those types of practices. You could be tweaking things around in that area. On the 5th, Mercury, your ruling planet, enters Sagittarius, and this planet of details and information is conjunct Saturn in that sector. Saturn has been in your home environment area, and there's limitations in that energy. You have been restricted and feel like the ceiling is just right here over your head when Saturn is in the home. You might need some space, or you might have a lot going on in the home, requiring a lot of errands and reviewing and a lot of information happening about property, environments, mother, the 4th house of mom. Mercury will go retrograde in this area, but not in November. That'll happen December 3rd through December 22nd. We'll have a Mercury retrograde. In your 4th house, he'll retrograde at 29 degrees of Sag, back to 13 degrees of Sag in the 4th house, reviewing the home, maybe moving, getting stuff out of the home, tossing old energy. So this is going to, Mercury will bring a detailed list of what is around you that needs to be done. And then you can implement the removal of or release of what's no longer serving your purpose in the home during the retrograde. On the 7th of November, Venus enters Scorpio conjunct Jupiter. And this is impressive for public speaking and editing, writing, journaling. It's also excellent for modes of transportation and local travel and relationships with female siblings or siblings in general. I say female because Venus is involved, but Venus is love and harmony, and then conjunct Jupiter, that's on next level, love and harmony, in the 3rd house of siblings. So you're probably responding very well to them and interacting with them over that period of time. Also, short trips could be important for Virgo in the neighborhood, local weekend trips and travel. maybe even to find love. Because if you're single, there's an energy of attraction in the third house of local travel. So you could be on the beach one day and just have someone run up on you. That happens. You never know. Especially if you keep some garnet stones in your bag. So that'll happen. On the 11th, circle this day, 11/11, Saturn and Uranus form an exact trine at 25 degrees in Sagittarius and Aries. So the fourth house of home trining the eighth house of so much, of intimacy, of shared resources, of sex, of death, of the occult, of the mysteries of life. I mean, the eighth house is like deep and dark, but it's also what you are very connected to. And some of it has to do with being so connected that it's private. It's within you, deeply rooted. But there's a shocking, could be a sudden revelation, a sudden change of you feeling limited. So the word I'm looking for is, what's the opposite of restriction? Expression. Maybe you're having an intimate talk in the home on the 11th. There could be a sudden find of where you need to relocate, an environment that you just suddenly stumble upon that would make sense for you. On the 18th, the new moon is at 26 degrees of Scorpio in this third house. New projects, new clients, contacts, information, data, new vehicles, upgrading the transportation, new equipment and smaller technologies can come to the home at that time, or that you can get, what am I thinking of? Gadgets, that's the word. I'm like, what is that word? Gadgets, and for anything from iPods to everything, earphones, all of that is third house, and it's all in Scorpio. So this is like, what could you not live without? iPhones, all that stuff. This is coming into new. So you need to upgrade, and maybe you're buying some new pieces of equipment. It's also spectacular for writing and communicating what needs to be said for a fresh start. The 21st, the sun enters Sag in the fourth house of home. So there is the flow of third and fourth house here. Wherever the sun goes, that's where we go. And Mercury and Saturn and the sun will all be in the fourth house of home and environment. So you're hosting Thanksgiving this year, or you're having people come to you at some point because you like to be at home. The fourth house is highly activated. On the 22nd, Neptune goes direct, so there's some clarity afforded to us, but there's a beautiful aspect to Jupiter on the 29th and 30th, in between your marriage sector and the communication sector. So I feel Virgo is communicating with their partner, or with business partnership energy. Something needs to be smoothed over here, and it can be at the end of the month. If you give it some time and patience, things can be smoothed over. So let's see what the cards are for you. I'm excited about drawing them. And if you'd like to book with me, don't forget about the spooky special. And I wanted to also tell you that I've been receiving a lot of messages on YouTube and privately about the song that I use on the intro and outro of these videos. And it is a song that I wrote and recorded in 2011 called My Golden Bough. And I've been inspired because of all of the notes I've been getting, that it's available for download now if you'd like it. And the links are below for that information. And also your VIMEO November messages, your medium messages are now available. And there's the tarot course if you want that as well. So you can find all that data in the Show More section. The first card, this is interesting. I just put this up on my Instagram, the same exact card, the Seven of Coins. Virgo is going through stages of transformation in terms of earning. And there could be a progression of wealth ahead of you. You are Earth. You are the coin cards. Now, this isn't the Queen of Coins, but 7 is the middle ground where there is advancement. It's higher than the 5. And it's going through stages of transformation. If you haven't reached your goal yet and how you want to earn a living, it's approaching. Let's see what else. Wow, she means business. 2 of Swords, you have a decision to make, Virgo. Which way do you go? And I think it's about this communication in this marriage sector, 3rd and 7th house. A decision. You're weighing 2 thoughts. Do I stay or do I go? Or, which job do I take? What decision is going to bring you closest to your divine purpose? That's how you have to answer that question. What brings me closer to what I am here to do? And then base your decision accordingly. Hermit. Oh, this is Virgo. This is your major arcana card. I love that little black cat. Okay, retreat. Take some time. Leave the light on. Don't close the door entirely. The Hermit leaves the light on in case anyone changes their mind. So, retreat. And just before the retrograde, have the talk you need to have. Things can be revisited. The Hermit is spiritual too. There might be some courses or therapeutic energy or spiritual practices that you need to incorporate in order to feel calm and spiritually inclined. And don't forget about you and the beauty of ritual and practice. Get up earlier if you have to. Go to bed later. Just do something with your schedule is what I'm getting. There is time for you. You have to make time. I know I'm hearing a whole bunch like, oh God, make time. What am I supposed to do that? Blah, 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 blah. Well, stop thinking like that, first of all. You can make anything happen. Take a deep breath. I see written lists, and with all of the 3rd house of writing and communication down, Virgo might need to visibly see what needs to be done. Oh, look at this. I need to rep this card as well. The World. It's a card of completion. You've reached a full circle. And it could be about in terms of a relationship, but the World is success and a full completion, that everything makes sense now. And it is the best card in the major arcana, like the Sun. They are very beautiful, protected cards. Your final card, 8 of Cups. Okay. Don't be misled emotionally up those stairs following that person. Don't turn your back on everything, but don't just take the first hand that's extended to you. It's an emotionally draining card, but you've turned your back on some things, but you don't need to turn your back on all of them. It's smart to be discerning through the retrograde of next month. We'll get to that in December, but I think you have a decision to make, and retreat in order to gain your spiritual insight on that, and then you have an answer. You've completed a mission here. You've completed a goal in terms of work and earnings and stages of progression, or in terms of this home life and environment energy and how you're communicating with your partners and partnerships. Yeah, I think that was it. I hope that was helpful, Virgo. I'm wishing you a beautiful November. And remember, the sky is limitless, so reach for the stars.